In this video, I'll go over how to run a LinkedIn ad and go over which objectives to use and which not to use, how to target beyond just job title, how to bid to get the best performance, and an overview of the ad, copy, and creative. So let's dive in. So log into your campaign manager, click on create campaign to start making your ads. Here you choose the campaign group you want to use. This one is fine for me. The first decision you'll need to make is which objectives to choose from. So brand awareness is basically the same as engagement, except brand awareness does not allow to bid by the click, which if you know anything about me, I'll always start with bidding by cost per click, CPC, rather than cost per mil or CPM. So I would say we can ignore this one for now. Website visits is the objective we would choose if we wanted to send people off from the platform to our website or landing pages. In fact, I would even choose this if I wanted to get people to take an action off from the platform, such as fill out a form or to sign up to something. For those of you who do Facebook ads, you're probably asking yourself, what about website conversions? Well, again, we can ignore this one, as whereas with Facebook I would choose conversions 90% of the time, LinkedIn just does not have enough data to make this work. After many tests, I can say that most of the time website traffic outperforms, even for the desired action, so generally we can ignore this one for the time being. The engagement objective is if you want to get more likes, shares, comments, etc. on a company page post. One cool thing you can do with this is do a follower ad, which is optimized to get you more followers on your company page. Video views is not one I would have used in the past, but since they just released retargeting of anyone who watches a certain percentage of your video, it is finally really useful and one to look into further, although it does not allow us to bid by the click, just by the 2-second view and by the mil. So I'd rather choose website visits and choose the video ad format, which then allows us to bid by the click, which for me makes more sense. Lead generation is probably the most commonly used objective. We should choose this if we want to collect people's information while keeping them on the platform. What happens is that when someone clicks on this ad, a form pops up which is auto-filled with the info LinkedIn knows about the person, and it is quick and simple for people to submit. The pros of this is that it gets us cheaper cost per click and it is so simple for someone to fill, yet the con is that the lead quality can be a little bit worse than if you send them off from the platform, as they put so little effort into submitting the form and you have had limited space to have an impact on them for your brand and copy, that they often forget that they even filled out the form in the first place. Job applicants is generally one we can ignore as well. Its purpose is if you want to fill a job vacancy, but the ad format is not very good, and I would just choose website visits and target the right people. I find this works better as it utilizes sponsored content, which is the ad format which performs the best. So let's choose website visits as it's one we choose more often than not. Next we have targeting. So with targeting, most advertisers will go directly to job title and target based on that. But although job title is the most precise, it is also the most expensive for two reasons. Firstly, because everyone targets this way, so the competition is much more fierce. And secondly, because your job title on LinkedIn is a free-form field, which means you can write what you want in it. Basically, LinkedIn only understands about 50% or less of the job titles, so we are missing out on the massive pool of people who could be perfect to target and which there is less competition over. 3 other ways we can target are by job function plus seniority level, so this will give us the most broad yet cheapest targeting type. By groups and seniority, this one is quite precise and medium expensive. It is a great way to target your audience because LinkedIn groups are not that great. So anyone who has joined a group on LinkedIn is putting up their hand and saying they're massively interested in the group topic. By skill and seniority, this is fantastic, especially if you're targeting someone who LinkedIn does not recognize the job title like mine. So you can target me by my skill in Facebook and LinkedIn ads. Other ways include interests and also uploading your own list for an account-based strategy. Let's choose groups for this example. I would always untick this. It basically allows LinkedIn to go out and find further people it thinks will fit in with your targeting. But targeting is so specific with LinkedIn and expensive, so we don't really want LinkedIn to go off and do its own thing. We want every single click to be just our target audience. There are 4 different ad formats to choose from. Sponsored content, which has the highest click-through rate and performs really well. This ad format is the one which sits in the prime position directly in the feed. You can add lead gen forms to this and you can have single image, video or carousel as part of a sponsored content ad. Text ads are these ads which are on the right side of the platform and which have a really low cost per click, which is great, yet also because of its secondary position on the right rail, have extremely low click-through rates of 2 to 3 people clicking every time it is shown to 10,000 people or 10,000 impressions. So although cheap, it's very hard to get volume, but definitely some utility in them. Dynamic ads are these weird ad formats where they show the person you're targeting in the profile picture next to your company profile picture. They have really low click-through rates, a little higher than text ads and a lot less than sponsored content, and are way more expensive than text ads. I don't use these much personally. Sponsored messaging is an ad format which comes now in 2 different versions. Message ads, which are the in-mail we see in our inbox, where someone can send out sponsored messages to their target audience. Mostly this will be your most expensive cost per click you get, and there's a lot of misunderstanding of these, as the way LinkedIn reports the results are misleading, so people think they are getting better results than they are. You can make them work if you get a much higher than average results, but if you hit the average, it will be the most expensive click you get on LinkedIn. Conversation ads are really exciting. They were just released, so I have yet to use them much, but they will most probably have much better results than message ads because you can follow up with different messages depending on the answer we get, so there's more opportunity to get the click. It is basically a bot-like experience, kind of like Facebook. For the purpose of this, let's choose the safest and most common format, single image sponsored content. I would untick the LinkedIn Audience Network just because if I'm paying a premium price to get high quality leads, I want to get them while they are on the platform. But if you need volume, this is a good option for you. Here we need to always choose manual bidding, and I would always bid by the click if you can, as this gives you as much control as possible, whereas if you bid by the mill out of the gate, you'll be paying per 1,000 impressions, even if your ad is performing poorly and no one is clicking through. Untick the bid adjustment. Remember, we don't want to give LinkedIn any freedom to do what it likes. We can totally ignore LinkedIn recommended bidding. It is massively misleading and I would be upset if I was paying that much. We can do much better. Let's check what the floor is by just inputting a low number here. We want to start by bidding the floor, so here we input whatever LinkedIn tells us is the minimum. There's a relationship between how much you bid and the volume you get. So if you want to spend £50 a day, then start by bidding the floor. Check how much of the budget LinkedIn spends over the next 24 hours. If it spends, say, 20, then we can increase our bid by 10 to 20 cents. And again, wait 24 hours. If it overspends, then we reduce it slightly. Once we have LinkedIn spending our daily budget based not on capping it, but based on your bid amount, then we know we are getting the best cost per click we can based on your targeting parameters. Increase your budget to above what you actually want to spend, as some days LinkedIn may spend 55 and others 45, depending on the opportunities it gets, but on average you want it to hit your budget. So tracking is quite a big topic, one which I'm making a video on and which I will link to in the description below. Please hit subscribe and hit the bell, then you'll get notified when I release a new video. Now click next and save. So in this field you can name your ad, but this is just for you to know what's going on. It will not appear anywhere on your ad. You get very few characters here, so unlike Facebook where longer form storytelling works well, within LinkedIn we need to get to the point and tell the prospect what we want them to do. Remember, when someone is scrolling in their feed, the first thing they will notice is the creative, this image here. So the only purpose of this is to draw the person in as they read the first line of your text. This first line is probably the most important. One thing I'd recommend is always A/B testing it. The body then sells the benefits and tells them what to do, i.e. click on the ad. So now click save, and now you have an ad. If you found this useful, please do subscribe and hit the bell button. I'm bringing out new videos on LinkedIn ads, cold email marketing, and other B2B topics.